Hello, my name is Rob Meeker. I'm co-founder of the Center for Human Awakening along with Richard Harvey. Richard isn't available for a video blog today, and so I'm going to share a reading from Richard's book, Your Essential Self. And the passage I'll share today is entitled, A Crack in the Fabric. It is the potential of every person to grow into a whole human being. Human beings strive for wholeness or completion by looking for a mate, acquiring material possessions, and pursuing worldly accomplishments. The idea of completing ourselves drives us unconsciously in everything we do. Those of us who make the commitment to inner work are looking for completion too. Something gives us the courage to take up self-reflection and attempt to know ourselves intimately and discover who we really are. Some of us have an implicit trust that the way will be revealed. Others of us come with openness and faith, or a deep response to the urge to grow. Each of us has suffered a crack in the fabric that protects us from the world. The personality is a mass of conflicts and competing urges. In inner work, we work with our attachments and obstructions to clarity and change. Our unrealistic hope is that we can change without personal loss, which is never possible, or that we can manipulate our situation to bring about change. But such change, by its very nature, is never lasting. Yet, the mind unwinds its plans and intrigues, spinning a web, producing mock solutions and bogus resolve. A terrific wrestling match goes on between the self that deeply desires to heal and change and the self that wishes to be healed but unchanged. But successful self-exploration heals through inner changes that require our surrender to loss, the release of attachment and the shedding of emotional patterns. These patterns originate in early childhood beyond our conscious memory. They are held together by powerful emotions and reinforced by reaction. Inside us, reactive emotions force our unconscious, spontaneous, natural feelings down and substitute a superficial, habitual, mechanical self for our real nature. We inhibit the expression of our deeper feelings because we like to think that we are in control. But our life is out of control. As anyone who has suffered a mental breakdown, bankruptcy, or the death of a loved one will readily confirm. By denying our feelings and their expression, we reject ourselves. We cannot reject ourselves without creating an inner tangle of doubt, desires, aversions, and attachments. We are beings of overriding feeling. Wrapped in conflict, unable to find resolution, and tied in the knots of reactive emotions, we become inwardly divided and in conflict with ourselves. We project this inner conflict onto the outside world as opposition to people or events. We develop layers of protection, false persona, and distrust, and defend ourselves from others with often concealed antagonism and separation. Averse to real meeting, we prefer to remain uncommunicative and unconnected. When this happens, our inner conflict becomes an outer reality. Often we are trapped in reaction to our early life circumstances, our family, how we were treated, who we have become. We may suffer from guilt, shame, negative judgments, and self-criticism, which result in pain, frustration, denial, and withdrawal. We practice inner work to discover the ghosts and dark shapes in our unconscious, to feel our forbidden needs and desires, our deep fears, and the awe-inspiring rage and sadness of our existence. Secretly, we are embarrassed at our lack of self-knowledge. We may try to compensate by demonstrating our awareness or communicating our suffering, but we deeply crave an atmosphere of allowing, permission, and containment, a safe space in which we can unravel the tangled cord of reaction and held emotion, and lessen the inner pressure that recreates resentments. As our inner journey continues, we pass through the layers of appearance to subconscious layers of deception and avoidance. We think we know ourselves, but we are hidden beneath defenses and resistance. We may imagine that we are open to self-discovery while we are really in a fog of conflicts, apologies, justifications, and unconscious urges. When challenged, we may not know who we are. Most of us come to inner work wanting to add to ourselves, to make things better, to be happier or more fulfilled. We would rather be happy than discover what has made us unhappy. But while happiness remains out of reach, we are unclear and unfocused, and the distance allows us space for excuses, regrets, and dissatisfaction. The more we let go in our inner work, the clearer we become. Everything we express, verbalize, and give form to is diminished in its intensity and its hold on us as we release our attachment to it. As thoughts and feelings are expressed, they immediately begin to die and give way to new experience. One of the deep lessons of inner work is that we have to lessen ourselves to find ourselves. We have to relinquish all that is false in us to reveal our real self. Unexpressed feelings create a psychic cage around our spirit. We are unable to release ourselves until we have cried, raged, felt pain, and sadness. Releasing negative emotions allows feeling to flow within us and take us to deeper levels of experience and fulfillment. When we integrate these experiences in the psyche, we can begin to live with newfound freedom and expansion, as if a great weight has been lifted off of us. On one level, inner work is an examination of the instability of life, how things manifest and dissolve in a seemingly endless state of fluctuation. Our emotions create endless scenarios of desire, of pleasure, and pain. On another level, inner work is like polished coal until it turns into a diamond, a metamorphosis of substances that were always within. This metamorphosis is possible because we are both human and divine. Our humanness is apparent, but often we conceal our divinity. In inner work, we explore our personality in all its aspects until the chinks, those little gaps between the tightly packed content of personality and personal drama, appear, and light enters into the darkness through the crack in the fabric of odds. Personality is a thin layer around the soul. It is how we appear to ourselves and others, but not who we are. The word person is derived from the Latin persona, meaning the mask we wear to play a character. Each one of us is wearing a mask, but what is beneath it? To find out, to know ourselves, we must journey within. People begin the inner journey to awakening for a variety of reasons: ill health, relationship issues, career crisis, a sense of meaninglessness, lack of purpose, challenges of aging, coping with emotions, anxiety, spiritual inquiry. Some come through choice, some through necessity. The way in which we come to therapy and inner work indicates the quality of our intention and may even predict the outcome of our efforts. The end is inherent in the beginning. Everyone's path to inner work is unique, but broadly speaking, there are two ways: curiosity and desperation, the way of the dilettante and the way of despair. The desperate seeker comes out of crisis. The curious seeker comes out of dissatisfaction. Both represent some shattering of our picture of how things are, some form of disenchantment, disappointment, or disillusionment. The difference is in how we come to inner work. Dissatisfaction is like distant rumbling thunder. Crisis is like a bolt of lightning.